Andrea, welcome to Live Talk.
Hey, Anesi. Thanks for having me back.
I remember from our last conversation, there's a certain aspect that you brought across the conversation. And I don't know if it's a coincidence, but coincidentally, somebody brought that aspect back of self-awareness. And I couldn't think of anybody else. That's why I had to come back to you. So it's good to have you back.
Good to be back.
All right. Just give a quick introduction for those maybe that might be watching you for the first time.
Sure. So my name is Andrea Sivani. I'm a certified transformational coach and NLP practitioner. And I help my clients become the best versions of themselves.
I like that part, the best version of yourself. But I also believe that in order for you to become the best version of yourself, you also have to incorporate the aspect of self-awareness. So would you mind defining to us what self-awareness means to you? And at which point in your own life did you identify the need of incorporating that aspect? And how has it helped you so far?
Sure. So self-awareness is basically all about paying attention to who you are as a person, how you think, how you behave, your thought patterns. It's basically becoming aware of yourself and what is the self? Well, it's everything about how you think, how you feel, how you behave, just who you are as a person. So for me personally, I would say I got quite big on self-awareness maybe in the last couple of years. I've come to learn that unless you actually think about it and you think, okay, I want to be more self-aware, it's kind of hard for you to just suddenly become self-aware because we do everything. I mean, I've talked about this a little bit before in our last interview, but in our mind, we have the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. And the conscious mind is our logical mind, is what we think when we're thinking rationally and when we're present in the moment. But the subconscious mind is basically a database of all of our feelings and experiences that we felt from childhood to now. And so it's a lot of where our automatic thoughts basically live. And so when we face certain situations, we may react rather than respond. And what I mean by that is, have you ever been in a situation where something happens and without thinking, you just react? Like you have a thought or a feeling that just comes up. You don't even know where it comes from, but it just comes immediately. And then based on that feeling, you then have a behavior as a result or an action. So that feeling came from your subconscious mind. It recognized that you're in this experience and previously you may have been in a similar experience and you had that feeling. So it throws that feeling out or that thought. And that makes you, so if you have a thought, that makes you have a certain behavior, and that behavior gives you a certain result. So that's reacting when it's sort of like an unconscious thing, comes out of nowhere, you don't have time to think about it and you're already reacting. But responding is when you actually pause for a minute and you take some time to actually understand what is the situation, how are you perceiving it, and how do you want to respond? What behavior do you want to show? How do you want to feel about it? So there's a difference there, because when you respond, you have the choice of what result you're going to get. But when you react, it's automatic. You lose that choice, you lose that freedom, and you just suddenly react, and then whatever happens, happens. So how that ties in with self-awareness is a lot of our thoughts are automatic. So self-awareness is about bringing those automatic thoughts into the awareness. So you're aware of what are these automatic thoughts that I have, and how do I tend to behave in certain situations? And once you know that, then you can change it. So I would say that's a very long answer to your question, but self-awareness is basically bringing awareness of how you think and how you feel and how you behave. And when you have awareness, you can improve on that if you want to change things.
Oh, lovely. I love the fact that you pointed out that it's a choice. It does not happen by itself. It's a decision that you have to make and say, hey, I've got to be aware of myself. And I think that concept has really helped me, especially in terms of controlling anger, because there's sometimes when you get in situations that really tick you off. But if you're somebody who is not aware of yourself and your emotions and how you're feeling at particular times, it's something that, you can lose control of yourself, ended up doing something that you might regret later on. So I think it's very important. But coming back to you, how has it helped you in your own life? What can you say and say, hey, these are the results of me being aware of myself?
Yeah, so it's helped me in so many different ways. for a very long part of my life, I just lived on autopilot. So whatever automatic thoughts came up, that's all I knew. I didn't know I could change that. I didn't even understand what was going on. I just thought, okay, this is how I feel. This is the situation. This is how I feel. This is how I'm going to react. But going through my own coaching journey and studying to be a coach and getting my diploma in that, I got to learn different models and techniques to actually understand, hey, I don't need to feel that way. I don't need to automatically think that, and then that's the final say on it. So once I learned that, I began to just basically take note of how I think and how I feel. And so in certain situations, I came to learn that actually this is a similar situation that I've been through in my past, and that's how I reacted to it then. I don't need to react that way now. This is just an automatic feeling that's coming up because that's all I know. But what do I want to do now? And there's so much power in that. When you do something different, you get a different result. So if you keep doing the same thing, then you can only expect to have the same thing, and your life doesn't really progress. You don't really grow, you don't really change. So it's been so beneficial for me because I've started to take note of how I think, how I feel, what are my behaviors, what situations trigger me, what situations make me angry. And then one step further, if I do get angry, if I do get upset, what about that situation is making me upset and angry? What is it that I'm getting from that that's triggering something in me to react that way? And I've begun to learn so much about myself and how I'm perceiving people, how I'm perceiving situations, and I've been able to just free myself and open my mind. Now, when I look at a situation, I'm able to see it in a different perspective. I don't need to see it in the same perspective as I was when I was like 16. I can change how I look at it. And when I do that, I get different results and I'm able to grow and find a lot more peace. I think the most powerful thing in the entire world is when you know yourself, because when you know your strengths and you know your weaknesses, you're so powerful, because with your strengths, you can increase that. With your weaknesses, you can improve on it. But you won't be able to do that until you take the time to understand what they are within yourself. And so I absolutely love the whole concept of self-awareness. I think it's so important, and it can really change your life.